Good evening. Welcome. You are watching the Zone Blitz. We are the weekly NFL female webcast. We come to you live every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Sharona. I am the official Titans correspondent for NFL Female. Be sure to get on our website, www.nflfemale.com, and check out all of the latest and greatest articles that are written by all of our passionate, smart women who cover all the 32 teams in the National Football League. You can check out my latest offering. It should be posted later on this evening on the Tennessee Titans. No one remembers the Tennessee Titans. We'll talk a little bit about that in our second segment. We'll be talking some NFC North and some NFL football with KaSandra. But first, we're going to talk some fashion and sophisticated spirit scarves with Sara Loar. I want to bring my wonderful co-host in first, let her introduce herself and get everybody going with the other introductions. Sonja, how are you doing, honey?
I am doing great, everybody. I'm Sonja. I am the official fan reporter for NFL Female for the Detroit Lions. So I am very glad to be talking to Sara and KaSandra tonight, and of course my boo Sharona as always.
We didn't come in giggling tonight, Sonja. I don't know whether to be proud or disappointed.
I think we should be a little disappointed, but
I know. Okay. We'll end up giggling before it's all over.
Oh, of course we will. Of course we will be giggling. So Sara is here joining us this week from Kansas City. You'll notice that she's got on her orange, her gold and red scarf.
Yes.
Because she is sophisticated scarves. And I hear there's some excitement in Kansas City, much to my dismay. But that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying earlier I wasn't sure if I should wear my Chiefs scarf or my Royals scarf. It was a toss-up, but I figured since it was NFL female, I'd go with Chiefs. But I tell you, our Royals have just lit the city up right now. We haven't had a playoff in 29 years in this town. Actually, I heard somewhere that it was the longest playoff drought of any major league professional team in the nation. So
wow.
We have broken that, and I feel like
congratulations.
I know, that's how we feel. And this town is just going nuts and supporting this team, and it has just been such a fun thing to watch. And I tell you what, it has not been bad for business. We have been selling a lot of scarves.
I'm sure.
Typically, the baseball fans are not necessarily the scarf people because it's during the hot summer and no one's thinking about scarves. But, you know, we've made it to October, and we actually sold out yesterday of our blue on blue.
Oh,
and so it's been wonderful. Awesome. So it's been so fun. And not to say that we don't love our Chiefs. The Chiefs gave us a good game last Monday night with the Patriots. But we didn't get so lucky this Sunday. But anyhow, last week was a good week for Kansas City sports, I tell you.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the scarves, and tell us, how you got started. And
absolutely. So the concept of sophisticated spirit started years ago when my mother, who was on the Kansas City City Council at the time, I was in high school. I was probably 15, 20 years ago. And her and the mayor of Kansas City at the time, who's a very classy lady, would always talk about how they never had it, and this was way before the female fan apparel craze. This was way before any of that came onto the scene. And they were talking about how they could never find, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. How they could never find something to wear, something just very understated and classy that they could wear to council meetings, to board meetings, things like that, just with their suit, with something nice. And it sure would be nice to have something. So I remember my mom talking about this idea years ago, before a business ever came into mind. And she said, one of these days we need to do something like that. And I came from a long line of female Chiefs fans in particular. My grandmother, who passed away 3 or 4 years ago, her and my grandfather had season tickets to the Chiefs when they actually came to Kansas City in 1970 up until the day she passed away. Ended up with 13 tickets, and she was all 105 pounds of her. She was the sweetest thing in her normal life, and you'd get her in that stadium and she would curse and scream at those referees and just let it loose, and I loved that about her.
Yeah.
And that was passed down to all the other females in my family, and we've just carried on their tradition. And so about 3 years ago, my mother actually went over to Kabul, Afghanistan. She was working as a government contractor over there, and she called me one day and she said, "Sarah, remember that idea we had a long time ago?" She said, I am in the mecca of beautiful textiles. These pashminas are beautiful. I want to do something. I'm gonna get some stuff made and send it over to you, and you hand it out to your friends and see what they think. So she worked with the local women that were actually, she was over there for a little over 2 years, and she would work with the local women that worked in the compound that all the government contractors work on a compound, and they bring in locals to do the, all the stuff around the compound, cooking and things like that. So she hooked up with some of the ladies that worked on the compound and had them sew that we just wanted colors. We didn't want to get into logos or anything like that, just colors. And she sent me over a batch of them with just local school colors, and I wore mine to my college. I went to Mizzou, which is a big SEC school now. I wore it down to homecoming, and I had no less than 20 people say, "I love that. Where'd you get that? I love that." So I called Mom and I said, I think we're really onto something. I think you need to get as many of these made as you can. Send them over to me. I'm going to start working on putting together a business plan. Let's see what we can do with this. So I was working full-time at the Red Cross and had been there for 8 years, and sort of nights and weekends I was working on a business plan, getting this all together. And Mom came back. It'll be almost 2 years she's been home. And when she came home, we decided we were just going to go full force at it. We had a really nice inventory because she had been shipping them over to me. We had 3,000 or 4,000 scarves in our inventory that we were ready to see what we could do with. So we got a website up, and just word of mouth, talking to friends. And last October, I left my job at the Red Cross, my full-time job that I'd had for 8 years, to just do it. I just took the leap of faith and decided now's the time. I can always go back to a desk job. Let's see what we can do. And we had a really good season selling over the holidays, and we were new at everything, so everything was kind of a learning curve for us as far as business goes, and definitely some bumps along the way, but we felt really good about the way things were going. And after the football season ended, we kind of knew that things would probably slow down a little bit because, we had great sales over the holidays, and, we had partnered with NFL Female. You guys brought us great sales. I mean, it was just we felt really good. Well, we thought there would be, at least a good 4 or 5 month lull. And lo and behold, in January, we got contacted by a department store called Von Maur, which is kind of a higher end department store chain. And they actually found us online and said they had just recently partnered with the NFL and a lot of the collegiate teams, and we're going to do a big fan line for the fall of 2014, and they thought our scarves would go really nicely. Would we be interested? And of course, us being a new business and not thinking retail, we thought retail was, at least a good year or two off for us. And we said, of course, we're interested. And we ended up in April, got the account for sure, and then in July and August we shipped off a lot of scarves to 35 stores across the country. And in the meantime, we actually got hooked up with a couple of sales reps that actually kind of found us as well. One here locally, and she has a 7-state territory, and she's just an independent accessories rep, and found us, and she's been doing it for 30 years and has hundreds of accounts. And she started working with us in April, and since April, including the 35 Von Maur stores, we are now in over 75 retail stores, and this has happened in a matter of like 6 or 7 months.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, so it's really taken off. And then, of course, we want to maintain our partnerships with NFL Female, which is, I mean, we just, like I said, we felt really good about how things went last season, and sales are picking up again. And, I mean, you guys are our target market. I mean, it's females who love sports, who love to show off their spirit, both in the boardroom and the ball field, which is kind of our tagline, from the boardroom to the ball field. You know, something classy and sophisticated, not that we don't love to, you know, deck out for the games, but something a little more understated you could wear to a meeting, out to dinner, something like that. So we are, things have just really, now that the weather has gotten cooler and, again, like the Royals taking off, it's just been pretty nuts right now for us. And that is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining one bit. It's been really wonderful. And it's been, I've never had more fun in my life. It's scary to have your own business, but it's very rewarding, and we're having a great time.
Oh, that is so excellent. Now, so you're in Von Mar, which is actually a store here, which I kind of like and frequent, so that'll be good. So that's nice to know that I can pick it up right there.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited. It's in the mall. It's not too far from me. It's great. Tell us more about
you're cutting out a little bit on me.
Yeah, Sonja, you cut out a little bit. You need to repeat that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
That's better, yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I was just going to ask where we can find you, like your website. Do you have a Twitter handle, things like that?
I do. So the Twitter handle, is @SpiritScarves.
Okay.
And you can also find us on Facebook. Just look up Sophisticated Spirit in your search on Facebook. And then you can purchase our scarves through NFL Female. So we are in your online store, and we do custom orders, and can do just about any. We have yet to find, knock on wood, a color combo that we cannot do. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's not the Pantone match per se of a team, but we get pretty darn close. And if you look at any stadium during a game, you'll see 500 shades of the colors that the team colors. So it's been we only actually, I take that back. We had one color that we, and I won't say what team it was, but we had one NFL color. Again, we can't officially say that it's a certain team, but that we had to get specially dyed for our Von Mar order. But they turned out beautiful, so we've got options if we need to. So
now I'm frankly, I would have to guess that it might be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It was not, actually.
Oh, wow. See, I was thinking teal. I was thinking that teal might be hard. But
I will say it was a shade of blue, but I won't say which team. It was a shade of blue that gave us a lot of trouble. But we got a
blue.
What's that?
I said, was it that Honolulu blue?
I'm not gonna say a word.
I'm not gonna say.
Us troublemaker.
Well, I think one of the things that I love about the scarves is exactly what you mentioned, Sara, and that they're very elegant, they're very understated, but yet they're vibrant, and they are representative of the colors, that you want to wear. I personally am not a frou-frou kind of girl. This is typically what I wear. I've got a jersey on. Right, but I would totally wear a scarf like that, and I think that they are lovely, and I think that they definitely represent what a typical fan might want to do. Right. So it's nice to have, and it's nice to know that you're doing so well.
Well, and it's just like you said, it's something that, and for me, it really fit a niche, because when I was working full-time at a job, and I serve on several boards here in town, and I love to show off on Red Friday. I love to show off my red and my Mizzou Tigers. I love my black and gold, but I couldn't wear a T-shirt or a sweatshirt to wear. I mean, I have to, you have to take it up a notch at work. So, and we've been told by a lot of people that this really fit a niche for women in the office.
Professional women. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And our scarves, we've got the pashmina, which is kind of the thicker. What I've got on, it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you could hold some of the scarves up so we could see them.
So the pashmina is kind of a thicker, heavier scarf, and it's great for, I like to say it's great for tailgating, great for outside when you're walking around during the holidays, that kind of thing. And then we've got and I should have brought one upstairs with me, I don't have one, but a lighter weight, what we call a crinkle scarf, and it's very shiny and silky looking, and that's great for the office and for the boardroom, and it's actually good for spring and fall as well. This is a great, like, when it's real cold outside.
It's a heavier weight, right?
A heavier one, exactly. So we have both available.
Okay.
Well,
so cool.
So if a man or a woman watching out there wanted to purchase one of the scarves, but they did not live in a city where that department store was available, what is the best way that they could go about making a purchase and checking out all of your wares?
I would say probably the best place to go would be NFL Female, because they've got the online store that pretty much, has all of our color combos, and we do custom orders too. So if there's if there's a local high school team or football team that you're really passionate about and want a color that maybe is not available on the store, just let us know. And like I said, you can find us at Spirit Scarves on Twitter, and you can also find us at Sophisticated Spirit on Facebook. And you can message us and just let us know what you need. So great for holiday gifts. I tell you, we sold more scarves in December for people. They thought this was a great gift for, it's unique, it's affordable, it's easy, everybody loves their team. So great gift for the holidays.
Yeah, it's a perfect gift. Now, the last time you were here, we were talking a little bit about the plans for the future. Where are you? Excellent job, by the way, getting the retail business going. Are there any plans for expansion?
Absolutely. And we wanted to get through this full season. Last season, we were so new. We were just kind of navigating through the business and how this was going to look. We wanted to get through this full season of, where are we at, how many scarves are we selling, how many people are we working with, how many retailers are we working with, and then the plan for 2015 is to roll out. We'd like to do, and I know this, we aren't the first on the block with this, but I feel like we've got some really good innovative ideas on, we want to stick with accessories. We love the idea of just the two colors. We don't want to get into, again, logos or anything, licensing or anything like that. So jewelry is the next on the list, and also we'd like to do men's ties.
I think men's ties would be excellent.
Yeah, like bow ties. I love the idea of bow ties, and we've got some unique, again, I know we're not the first on the block with the ties either, but we've got some really good ideas. So, once our real busy season dies down, we'll probably regroup and start working on, now that we've got all our vendors and all our people lined up and people who can do stuff for us, we will start working on the next phase. So, sky's the limit, I think, at this point.
Definitely, and we're going to do a lot better about having you back on so that you can promote your wonderful business. Sara and I were talking off camera, did not realize it had been so long, and we're so happy to have her back on and to report back to you guys that Sophisticated Spirit is doing so well, and we hope that it will continue to do well. Tell everybody once again where they can find you on social media and on the website, and we'll give a shout out to NFL Female at the end too as well.
Okay, yes, you can find us at Spirit Scarves on Twitter. On Facebook, look up Sophisticated Spirit in the search, and you can find us, or NFL Female in the online store is great as well. So we have we do have a website as well, www.sophisticatedspirit.com, but I would encourage you to go through NFL Female to purchase.
thanks again for joining us, Sara, and we hope to have you back soon and to talk about some of the up-and-coming and new things that are going on. And I'm definitely going to get on there. I'm in the mood to get a nice scarf, so I'm going to get on there and take a look around and make my purchase here probably tonight.
Well, thank you all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And go Chiefs, go Royals.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Sara Loar. She is one of the founders and the driving force behind Sophisticated Spirit Scarves. If you haven't gotten on to either NFL Female, www.nflfemale.com, or the Sophisticated Spirits website, definitely do it. Those scarves are amazing, and I can't wait to get one. All right, so let's talk some football. We'll talk some sports now. NFC North, lot of weird things going on in the National Football League this year. I was just talking about parity and how there's so much parity in Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. There's so much parity now in the National Football League. Crazy times. Who would have thought that the Buffalo Bills would be 3-2 and sitting atop their division?
I know.
They're coming back. They are sitting atop. Of course, the AFC South is terrible right now. But let's talk some NFC North. We haven't introduced her. We want to bring her in now. KaSandra, thanks for joining us. Tell everybody, before we get started, who you are and where they can find you.
Well, thank you so much, so much for having me. I'm like NFL Zone Blitz biggest fan, so this is exciting.
We love you too, girl.
But I am Cass. I'm all over the internet as Football Fan Rush. I started the company because the entire time I was young, I thought I was the female answer to Howard Cosell for football. So I walked around the house like I got put out by my dad all the time. He was like, "Stop commentating the game. I got to tell you what's going on." So when social media came about, I did the same thing, and everyone was like, "When you go to college, please go for communications because you're driving me nuts." So I did. I actually went. I studied everything from communications. I wanted to be a news reporter, and in climbing the ranks to being a news reporter, I figured all the social media, there's Blog Talk, now Google Plus. Let me step out on my own and see what I could do. And I took the fans on my back, and we made it happen with Football Fan Rush Network. So it's a network of us. We're small and we're growing, but we are all about the fan. Thank you. We're all about the football fan, from educating the football fan to providing humor. So, love SB Nation, everything they do with their humor. And we kind of piggyback on a lot of the memes, but we also want to make sure that fans understand the penalties, what's going on, trades, updates, why teams actually draft, why they give up draft picks for certain players. So we're sort of an education and fun portal all at the same time.
Well, we're so happy to have you join us. We should have done this a lot sooner, but we're going to have you on here a lot more often. I was telling Sara, Sonja and I, it's been a grind. Sonja and I took a little bit of a break. Which was nice, wasn't it, Sonja, in the off season? They say there is no off season, and that's true. But we definitely had to have a little bit of a hiatus because we were tired. But we are back, and we're happy to be talking NFL and NFC North. We'll talk about it all here. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to finish up with some hot topics, so you guys want to stay tuned in for that. The NFC North, I'm going to let Sonja kind of help us lead this discussion. She's our NFC guru. She knows all about the comings and goings in the NFC. So Sonja, get us going.
All right. So, earlier today, KaSandra, you and I kind of went a little bit back and forth on Twitter. Well, actually, we started to, but then I was like, hold up, let's talk about it. Because, we were talking about, that the black really is black and blue. And, I'm going to just a smidge. I want to say that, yeah, it is kind of a little bit black and blue in terms of the standings. And I think, when we talk about parity, and who thought that, the Green Bay Packers would at least be 3-2 as well, and getting off to such a slow start today or this year, and but now we've all learned to RELAX, relax. We know.
Greenfield to Hollywood.
Aaron Rodgers is a mess. But, I will say that I think that this is going to come down to, and I don't know how the Bears are going to end up, but I do think it is still going to be a black and blue division. I think it is mostly going to be, I'm hoping, between the Lions and the Packers, because I don't know. I'm not 100% trusting Jay Cutler right now.
It's hard to trust the Chicago Bears. I don't understand that.
Hard. It's very hard. A lot of people always tease me because I say it's the tale of two Jays. We never know which Jay Cutler is going to show up. And the sad
we
thing,
got a chance to see him locally here when he went to Vanderbilt, and he hadn't changed a bit. I promise you that.
he's not consistent. As a leader of the team and with that amazing contract that he was given, he's not very consistent at all. A lot of the plays, and I'm also a little iffy with the coordinators and the head coaches when it comes to making adjustments in games. I am not feeling the Bears' special teams either. So the Bears, we were hoping, fixed a lot of off-season problems. They fixed one. They fixed one. But the special teams is just, they're not getting it done. Joe DeCamillis and his boys, they are not getting it done. I was really shocked to see Robbie Gould miss a field goal, but it was better than missing.
Well, don't talk to Sonja about missing field goals. Don't talk to Sonja about that.
I don't trust the Bears. I'm not shocked. Well, I'm not shocked. I know prior to the season starting, so many commentators, so many analysts had the Bears just being on top of this division. Jay Cutler was going to take them all the way. They were going to be flawless. We are totally seeing the opposite of that.
Yeah.
We're just watching them sort of implode.
They're inexplicably bad at times.
Yeah.
KaSandra, let me ask you this. We're seeing now, I was not a big believer in whether or not Devin Hester could do anything in the Atlanta Falcons offense, but boy, did he prove me wrong. Did Chicago make a mistake, first of all, letting Devin Hester go? And second, do you think now that Chicago looks back and says, geez, we just really did not know how to use that guy?
No, yes, and no. And this is what it is. I don't think they made a mistake in letting him go. I think that he had reached his glass ceiling here in Chicago. Okay. And he needed a change of scenery. He needed a resurgence. They needed fresh legs. I mean, what he's done as the Chicago Bear will never go unnoticed. But there was time for a change. So I knew that they were going to let him go. The positions that they were trying to utilize him in, besides just a returner, this really didn't work out in this scheme. It looks amazing, though, for Atlanta. They get it. They get what he can do. He can fill in. They know he's going to run one back if he gets loose. So it was an amazing win for Atlanta. It was a great resurgence for Devin, so I'm happy for him. But I think Bears fans, especially watching the Falcons game a week ago, they were a little hurt. It was a dagger to Bears fans, but when you look at it from a business standpoint, it needed to be done.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it should have been done, and I don't think it was a mistake when it comes to front office.
I think that it was good, actually, for both. I don't think that he was going to do anything in Chicago. I agree. He had reached all the potential that he could reach there. And the relationship, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from the outside looking in, it seemed like that relationship really kind of soured when they fired Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
That didn't help. But there were just things leading up to that, especially when they switched his position and he wasn't as effective as they hoped he would be at a wideout position. So there were a lot of things that led up to it. I think this was a move for him and a chance for the team to utilize some of their youth, get some draft picks, and go a little bit younger because, I mean, he is getting up in age. He's amazing. I don't want fans throwing tomatoes at me. He's amazing. But it was this was on both levels.
He's 32 years old. He's definitely in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we'll see how much 32-year-old he looks against the Bears this coming weekend. That is a
Yeah.
huge,
They are
major matchup.
Oh, that's going to be really interesting. Now, tell me, how are you guys loving Kyle Fuller, who I kind of wish that we had, but let's talk
I would have fought you for him, Sonja. I wanted him too.
about
And Kyle is amazing. Kyle is amazing. He's consistent. He's exciting. He's explosive. He's where he's supposed to be on the field. He's so amazing that we met a fan just going out. We tailgate. We actually met a fan that took tape. He didn't have a new Kyle Fuller jersey, so he took tape and put it over the old player and wrote Fuller on the back.
Oh no.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's funny.
But yes, Chicago is in Kyle Fuller fandemonium in full mode. He's been really spectacular to have on the team.
He looks
So I guess
amazing.
all the
He's
Bears.
doing a great job.
That's a great one. That was a great pickup.
I think that's probably my biggest concern about the Bears is Kyle Fuller, and just I'm hoping that the Lions will be able to keep him in check when we play them Thanksgiving.
Well, then I'll be there. I'll be there. Kyle Fuller is something to worry about. Tim Jennings as well. Tim Jennings is lethal. Whenever Tim Jennings can pick off anyone, he's right there. That's amazing to watch as well. But those are just two people. And I know on paper, and so this is what I'm hoping that Detroit gets it going. On paper, Detroit looks amazing when you look at the numbers and how well they stack the box, and they're definitely defensive front. It's like when the whistle blows that it's like something happens and it doesn't go as planned. And no, and they're awesome. And so I just feel like if they come together as a team, the Bears honestly don't have a chance. They're definitely going to get at Jay Cutler. They will break through that line. The O-line for the Bears started strong. It's a little injury prone now, so they will definitely get through that offensive line. Also, the big difference is watching Matt Stafford, he trusts his receiving core. He absolutely, if the O-line gives him enough time to hang in the pocket, he's going to hit his big receivers, definitely Megatron. And if he spans the field and no one's open, tight end or anything, definitely a hand off to Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush runs through anything, walls, people, trucks, trees. He's going to keep going, which is probably why he's always injured. But so that's a big force to stop. Reggie Bush is powerful. When Megatron gets healthy and is able to come back, there's no stopping him. One of the
Speaking of the Lions and Megatron and health and all of that, Sonja, give us a health update. I know Megatron's been dinged up. It sounded like Reggie was a little dinged up too.
They took both of them out of the game this past week against the Bills, which, go figure, no more offensive touchdowns in that second half once those two guys got pulled. So, yeah, there's talk of Calvin's ankle, and what I've seen, I haven't really seen too much because the big news today is that we signed Matt Prater, praise Jesus.
Yeah, that was
He can get some through the goalpost for us because, well, let's not go there because
You've had a tough season with the kicking game. You have.
Yeah, that was...
Would have thought it. Out of all the things that kicking would have been, the one thing that Detroit needs to improve on the most.
Like you had one job, right? You had one job to do.
Just one.
Job.
Just one job.
That is the most kicker thing ever, right? Sonja, I want to ask you, I have to ask, I was not going to, but it's been a big thing. We talked a little bit about it. I don't think we talked about it this morning, but I was talking about it with some people. Golden Tate. Obviously, the Lions played the Bills, and it was a big win for the Buffalo Bills, and former Lions head coach and now Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz was carried through the crowd on the shoulders of his players and people. It was it was amusing because I think Ndamukong Suh, I think he kind of high-fived him a little bit, and but most people were basically just ignoring him. But he was so proud to be carried through that crowd.
Mm-hmm. He was proud.
And
Now,
Showtime Tate. Say that 3 times real fast.
all right, Showtime Tate.
Showtime Tate called basically. I think he didn't basically. I think he did just come right out and call Jim Schwartz a douche for it. What do you make of all this?
Well, I will say that I was none too thrilled about it. Like, I get it. I totally get it. When you face your old team, you want to beat them, which is totally fine. It's understandable. That's what happens. But I think I would feel better about it if he was the head coach and not the coordinator.
Well,
a coordinator does not get carried off the field. I mean, I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. Like I said, I get it.
all right.
And I understand that you do want to beat your team, but come on, you're a coordinator. Show a little bit more decorum, just to say.
I agree.
Well, that was kind of
I
his
agree.
thing. That was kind of his thing in Detroit. I mean, he had some trouble showing some decorum with the Detroit. It's classic Jimmy Schwartz. If you know anything at all about Jim Schwartz, it is classic him. I mean, it shocked nobody if you knew him. I agree with you. He's a defensive coordinator. It's kind of the epitome of son, sit your hind parts down, right?
Exactly. And like I said, I understand. You do feel good when you get a win, especially, kind of the way he left town and, how it all went down.
Yeah.
I get it. But come on, again, you're a coordinator. Coordinators don't get carried off. They just don't. So there.
And hopefully no more coordinators will be carried off.
Yeah, right.
Please stop.
We haven't mentioned the Minnesota Vikings. We talked some Vikings last week with Verlina, Verlissa. What do you guys think? Nobody seems to be buying into the Minnesota Vikings. What's up with that?
Okay. I buy into it. Like I'm always going to. I'm always
okay.
going to. I live by.
You are always there.
You go, girl. Yeah, man. I see it now. I couldn't see it, but I see it now. Okay.
I am always there. If I don't have enough stuff autographed and signed and given, and so I'm always there. I absolutely love my team. There is a lot going on. So I guess, Sonja, we have to be rivals this week. Oh.
We do, but it's okay.
There's a lot going on with the team. Just physically with injuries, definitely emotionally and chemistry-wise. And they are doing their best to keep on trucking through it.
Mm-hmm.
We did pass out when they activated Ponder the other day.
Yeah, so what's up with Teddy Bridgewater? He had to sit out Thursday night because it was Thursday night. Didn't have enough time to recover. Is he good to go this weekend?
As of right now, he did practice today. As of right now, we feel like we're smooth sailing. We don't know the extent of how much or how long he practiced today, how extensive the injury is to his ankle, but he was at practice today per several sources.
Well, that's a good sign.
To make sure that's an excellent sign. Hopefully he had plenty of time to heal. I absolutely love seeing Teddy out there. I did backflips when he was drafted. The one thing that I loved the other day was watching him utilize, of course, there are stars on the team, and everyone's still waiting for Cordero Patterson's breakout game, but the way he utilized himself with his Michael Vick back in Atlanta-like tendencies, where if he can't get anyone open, he's going to run. He's going to go. He also did a great job of utilizing Matt Asiata, Jerick McKinnon. I mean, he found names that we see on a roster, and he actually put them in play. He did a great job to sort of be thrown in the position like, look, here you are, it's handed to you, let's see what you can do. And he really came through. So we feel pretty secure with Teddy at that spot. We won't feel secure if he gets hurt again, though. But
exactly.
Well, I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I was extremely happy to see Teddy time.
Yes, I was too. That was awesome, even to be there and to see it. But they've got some things to battle through. I hate Chad Greenway won't be back for this matchup. He's definitely one of my favorite players.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, huge leader on the team. But the defense looks so much better this year, and special teams looks pretty good. but the secondary is still working their way back. The secondary is extremely talented that the Vikings do have. They have to watch the penalties. The penalties are costing the secondary royally. Too many penalties away from the ball, and it's costing them in yardage. If they would just slow down and play smarter, the Vikings could have a pretty big edge and could be, despite everything going on, could actually look the way they did against the Falcons and really give quite a few teams a run for their money. But they've got to watch the penalties. The defense is absolutely doing great. They look 200 times better than we could have ever imagined from what we saw at the end of last season.
We've heard a lot of talk about Cordarrelle Patterson. What do you think's up there?
He is extremely talented. Given the opportunity, he'll run all over the field. He's also versatile. I mean, he will probably be the tallest running back you'll ever see. But if that's what he needs to fill, he's extremely versatile, and that's the great thing about him. He is definitely a wideout. He has great speed. He runs amazing slant routes, and he does not have a problem stretching for the ball. You always hate to stretch your receiver, but he's one that actually goes up to get the ball over his defender. So he's a joy to watch. But in the scheme of things with Teddy Bridgewater, we have to see how Teddy Bridgewater gets the ball to him. Because we knew that was a big thing with Matt Castle. Matt Castle utilized Cordarrelle and utilized Greg Jennings quite often. So now that Teddy's in the flow, we have to see how Teddy will utilize him in the plays and adjustments that they'll make for Cordarrelle to get open.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If Teddy can get him the ball, do you think it's more so just Teddy getting him the ball and getting him, in play, and hopefully that will also bring him out a little bit more instead of Mr.
The Vikings have some great weapons. They have a lot of talent.
They've got a lot of talent.
They're very deep in talent. I absolutely love the coach. I love his thought process.
I was just getting ready to ask you, Cass, what your thoughts were on Mike Zimmer and how would you grade his first quarter performance?
I love him. I like that he makes adjustments, and I like that he's serious and he keeps the guys focused. He does not let them get out of the game, and that's the one thing that I love about him. A lot of times you'll look up at the scoreboard and teams have given up when there's actually a chance to pull through and win at the last second. He will not let them to give up. He will not. When they make a mistake, he calls them on it. He sends them right back out there. If they can't do it, the next man's going in. He's very serious about it. He wants them to have fun, but they're here to play football. I absolutely love his tact and his mentality on and off the field. So they're producing for him. They did that last week, but
too.
Yeah, very. And I'm kind of proud of them. I'm not proud of them sitting at 2-3 and everything going on, but I'm a Vikings girl. So for everyone that's watching who didn't know what to get me for Christmas, so there are these spirit scarves, right? And we're playing outside.
They would be lovely too in those colors.
Purple and
I would totally wear those
outside.
colors.
If you had a question on what to get me, sophisticated scarves, but I absolutely love them. This matchup, though. So now we have to go head to head, Sonja. I love you though. If Megatron does not play, and as of right now, I would like to see better. He's definitely not. I know Reggie Bush did show up to practice. He's still a game time decision, but he's Reggie Bush, and he's going to try to push through it to be successful for his team. But I would love if Teddy Bridgewater comes out healthy, can get the ball to Cordarrelle, and the defense has been as strong as they've been in the last few games. This is going to be a pretty good matchup. This is going to be.
I think potentially, yes, it could be a very good matchup. But, I also think if it's Bridgewater, he's got to watch out for, Darius Slay. He's got to watch out for, just that secondary has just come a lot. DeAndre Levy, oh my goodness.
DeAndre is amazing. Amazing player.
He has done amazing. Really good things. And just, he's been good and just kind of quiet. It's been kind of a quiet good. Not too many, people are talking to him about him too much. But that's a good thing. That's good. He's out there. And then also, what was I going to say? And Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph is out, correct? Is he injured? Your tight end?
He is injured. Yeah. He is. But we seem to have resolved some of those issues. I think we're doing what the Packers did last year. They were like, "You over there, can you fit this jersey? Come play." So we're having a few issues. We're having just a couple issues, but it's actually working out with a healthy Teddy Bridgewater, an O-line that keeps Teddy contained and blocks for him so that he isn't on his back quite often, it's going to definitely be. I can honestly see it being a high scoring game. I truly can. It's going to be a great matchup. It's another division rivalry. We came off one with the Packers and the Bears, and so we have another one. This is like major. When living in Minnesota, the amount of Detroit Lions fans was unreal. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, "You live here? Are you wearing that?" But so it's a. Last week you guys had Berlisa on, her husband, mega Detroit Lions fan. So this is gonna be like this is a real battle. This is a true battle, and I can't wait to see it happen. Hopefully the Vikings can take advantage of having Megatron out. That would be the best thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Because then, yeah, I think that that's where Matthew Stafford will kind of falter to if he doesn't have, Megatron to throw to. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. I think also interesting to see who they might have as that, back or that other receiver in play. They've got a couple options here. Riddick, no, not Riddick. I don't think they. I mean, Ryan Broyles. You think you want
Ryan
Broyles? So I mean, there's options, but you just got to see. And are they actually going to finally start using Ebron a little bit more in that game plan?
They probably should in this game. This is definitely a really nice defensive matchup. Both teams have the ability to get to a quarterback for a serious sack and almost take a quarterback out of his entire lifespan. So this is going to be a really good matchup. They do the very good defensive fronts for both teams. So we really have to see how both teams strategize and play offensively, because both defenses are really going to do what they have to do to keep that offense on the field. We just have to make sure that they score. The Detroit Lions have a really good secondary, and the Vikings just have receivers and running backs that will just run through anything. So I think this game is based on both teams' offenses, since we know the defenses are both stacked. So we'll see what those sides of the ball show us.
Exactly. It'll be a fun game.
All right, let's get some score predictions, and then we'll talk real quick with our hot topic of the evening. So I'll start with you, Cass. What's your score prediction?
Let's see, Vikings, Lions. I don't know. Something's got me somewhere like in this 17-23 range. I don't exactly know why, but I think the Vikings can take it, even though we have a pretty good kicker, kind of. So Blair Walsh is close enough. We can actually take it. If that's how we've got to get it, we'll take it. We'll take every field goal he kicks. So I think the Vikings can honestly squeeze it out. I think they'll have a little bit of rejuvenation and a little bit of resurgence. They've come off another terrible Thursday night football game, as if they all haven't been. But I think this is going to motivate them, and with Teddy Bridgewater in there, some kind of, 17-23, kind of somewhere in there.
All right, Sonja.
I was thinking a little bit higher scoring. I was thinking more like 28-24, somewhere in there.
All right.
Yes.
I think it's going to be
I like it.
That's what I think.
I like it. All right, real quick hot topic. We like to talk about women in sports and issues that are important to women, and I think this one is pretty important. The big issue right now, excuse me, has been the league finally including women in they're getting ready to update their personal conduct policy. And one of the things that's facing the league, we're seeing it actually happen in college football. One of the issues confronting the league is whether to institute a zero tolerance policy regarding players who have been accused of some sort of violence or abuse against a woman or a child. And so I wanted to get you guys to weigh in on that. Sonja, I will start with you. Do you think that the NFL should institute a zero tolerance policy?
I would say that they should probably institute a zero tolerance policy if one is actually charged more so than accused. Accused, I am totally fine with, sitting them down until said investigation is complete and not allowing them back on the field. But then once, if it comes to the fact that they have committed said crime, then of course, yes, zero tolerance. But if it comes out that, something did not happen, or that that he was cleared of all whatever happened, then, he is okay to go back. But I think that if it's just an accused thing, totally you sit down until, everything, the investigations are wrapped and they have an idea of what happened. That's my thought.
Cass, what about you? What do you think?
I agree. Definitely not if anything's accused. For example, what broke today with Marshawn Lynch, that was fabricated and the alleged sexual incident did not happen the way it was initially brought to us. And so if he would have had a harsh penalty and kicked out of the league, now we have a bigger lawsuit. So I do agree with sitting a player down while the legal investigation is going on. I am all for harsh penalties, very, very harsh penalties should it be found out. But unfortunately, sometimes in certain situations, everyone needs to be educated. I've worked with everything from women to men coming up in sports, even on the high school level. Sometimes they really honestly don't know they're doing something wrong because of the environment that they've come from and what's been supported.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think that they are honestly doing something wrong. And so just to penalize them and send them, just no tolerance and send them on their way won't correct the problem. But
here's one of the things that I think about, and I understand the concern about false accusations. I do. The numbers, though, bear up the fact that relatively few, in fact, very few of the allegations are in fact false. You hear about a lot of the high-profile ones, and obviously, when that happens, it does garner some attention. So you have to be careful. What does the NFL do, though? If and they're going to get into this business, when they are confronted with another situation like a Ray Rice, like a Janae Palmer Rice, where there's some bad doing that has gone on, but the victim is asking the commissioner to be lenient and to let her significant other play. What does the league do then?
It's hard to say, but then I think what part of it should be is that they should sit down with her separately and talk. Really, get to the bottom of it and just understand, where she's coming from and really try and understand, because it takes two to tango. And, not saying that, but we do have to see where she's coming from. And if she truly is, like in her situation, because this is coming out, in her situation, I think, just sitting down with her and talking to her.
I agree. I think that they definitely need to talk to the victims.
Yeah,
they do.
That's probably
that's definite.
I think my concern is it's so common for victims in this situation to beg for leniency because for a lot of reasons they're scared. There are a lot of layers to this issue. But if the league is truly going to have a personal conduct policy that has teeth to it, I think that they're going to have to, while they have to listen, I think that they're going to have to say no to the possibility that victims are going to be begging the league to not throw the hammer, to not follow through with their original intention where they said, I think it's like 6 games the first time, 6 to 8 games the first time, and then a second is a lifetime ban. It's an indefinite suspension, and you have to reapply. So there are so many. Like I said, there's so many layers to this issue. I know that the league has brought in some extremely knowledgeable and talented women, and confident that they are also raising these issues. But, you know, having the discussion and involving women in it is extremely important, whether or not that changes how you choose to address it.
And then also, you know, just explaining to that woman why we do have to throw the book and why this is not a good thing. And, you know, yeah, I think that's part of it. And just all still the counseling and things like that need to happen. And, you know, documentation and actually seeing that it actually happened and not just, yeah, we went to an anger management course once or twice and that was about it. No, it needs to be deeper than that. That's what I feel, because that issue, it's a huge issue, and it's going to take more than one or two. You know, it's going to take more than one or two, you know, anger management sessions. It's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been always a fun hour. It's a quick hour. We're almost out of time, so I'm going to throw it back over to Sonja to start our outro, so to speak. So, Sonja, tell us. Well, first of all, let's get Cass to come in and tell everybody once again where they can find her and give a big shout out to their excellent work on Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having us. You can follow us on Twitter at Football Fan Rush. We're on Google Plus at Football Fan Rush Radio. We are on Blog Talk as Football Fan Rush Radio, and we are also on Facebook under Football Fan Rush Radio. We love to hear from the fans. We're the voice of the fans, so check us out and follow us. It'll be fun.
Definitely. And thanks again for joining us. We want you to come back real soon. We're going to keep an eye. The NFC North is a fascinating division to me. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. We'll have to get you and Verlissa on together. I think that'll be fun.
Yes, that'll be awesome. That'll be so awesome.
All right, Sonja, tell everybody about you and where they can find you.
Okay, I'm Sonja. I am the official fan reporter for the Detroit Lions. You can find me on Twitter at mom, 2, 3, RN. And you can find me writing about my Lions. I'll get an article up soon. I was being really superstitious, so you'll have to forgive me, but since they lost to the Bills, I can go ahead and write my article now. So so my article will be going up soon. And then you can also find me hanging out with the guys over at A Good Sports Hang, writing about any and everything sports related. So yeah, thank you so much again, Cass, for visiting us tonight. I can't wait to get you back on, especially like I said, you got to come on with Lisa, because this will be a lot of fun.
It will be. I can't wait to come back. So thank you, ladies.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys talking some trash talk on Twitter over this game coming up this weekend.
Oh, we are ready.
I'm going to have to moderate that. All right. Well, I'm Sharona. I am Sharona. You can follow me on Twitter at Sports by Sharona. I'm the official Titans correspondent for NFL Female. Be sure to jump on there and check out all the latest and greatest articles, and be sure to check out the podcast. I was totally blanking on podcast. The podcast tomorrow night. Sonja, I think you and I are going to be on together again.
I think we are.
Yeah, we're going to be on Wednesday night with NFL Female tomorrow night, talking about a lot of interesting things, so definitely be sure to tune in to that. We'll be back next week with another great show. Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come live to you on the Zone Blitz, produced by NFL Female. Big shout out to Liz, who we love so much and who has given us this opportunity to talk sports with other amazing women. We'll be back next week, so stay tuned in. We'll be back and talking football. This has been the Zone Blitz by NFL Female. Have a very wonderful evening.
Good night.